everyone, Diane here, welcome to my studio. As you know, a bird a day helps you work, rest and play, doesn't it? And today is time to play and create a bird. Here is my little sketchbook, and these are a few I've been playing with just lately. But what I'm going to do today is this little fluffy chick. And this is not really painting. So if any of you feel like you need a break from your brushes, what I'm going to suggest that we do today is find a flyer, something that came through the door that you didn't want, tear it in half, and then tear out a little circle like that. Any shape, any kind of circle, something like that. Here's one I did earlier. And I've already used this, so I'm going to go ahead and use it again because waste not, want not. Find yourself an old toothbrush, the older the better. This one is a Boots Special. I don't use them like this anymore. I use a much shorter head. But anyway, so I keep this one for this. And then choose your colours. I've got, this is my entire selection of core colours that I possess, 6 colours. I'm going to start off with this one, which is obviously ultramarine. So I've just sprayed a little bit of water on there to make the paint a little bit more liquid. And I'll probably be well advised to just test it on my golden flyer to make sure that's going to work, and I think that will. And then I'm just going to, whoops, lovely, nice big blob. Going to spray into that space. Okay, and then I'm going to go on and pick up some phthalo blue, and we'll spray some of that in. Get good coverage, not completely covered, but just a reasonably good coverage like that. And then carefully, so as not to smudge, remove your stencil. I didn't really want both those blobs, so I'm going to use a thirsty brush to pick out some of that colour. That's actually conveniently pretty much where the eye wants to be, but don't quite want all that paint, so we'll just remove that using, as I said, a thirsty brush, which is a damp brush with no colour on it. And now we want to put in the beak, because that's what sort of defines the bird. So we'll just pick up a little bit of orange. That's the core yellow, azo yellow, I think it is, mixed with a bit of the red. And then just paint in a nice little beak like that. And at the same time, probably a good idea to pop in his legs, make them the same colour. And he can have long legs or short legs. Just as long as he has 2 legs, that's all that really matters. Okay, so that's that. Now we need to give him a tail. And what I'm going to do is I shall do it in phthalo blue. And I should be sitting down actually, because what happens is if you're standing up for some things, it gives you more freedom, but that can lead to mistakes in your brushwork. So it's probably best if I sit down. And we'll just do that, and maybe bring that down a little bit there. I'm not liking this brush, it's misbehaving. Go back to my red, which has a much better point, I think, usually, anyway. So there we are. And then the wing, I'm just going to drop in a wing shape there, using plenty of paint, and just make that sit there. Whatever shape you want, really. Something like that. Something nice and simple. And then we need to make it dry. So while we're waiting for it to dry, I'm going to grab I'm using a Faber-Castell Pitt pen today. This is a waterproof black pen. No difference really between that and the other one that I was using yesterday, the Micron. I don't know if there's any difference in the price. What's the matter, Frankie? What was I doing? Yes, okay, so Frankie has made me lose my thread. So we'll put some flowers in down here. We're going to put some tulips. Like this. And a daisy. Whoops. And I'm going to go for a slightly smaller pen now because I want to do a bee up here. I'm going to put a nice little bee. There we are. We'll paint him in a second. Put some veins. This is a 0.05, this Micron, so it's quite nice and fine. And put in the ground like that. And then I think, I'm not sure if that's dry, but I want to just paint in with the pen the eye, dark part of the eye like that. And then I'm going to use the white gel pen to do the white around the eye, and I'm okay, yes, that's dry enough, so we should be okay. So just go around like that. Just where that blob was, it's quite nice. And then again, another line around the outside of the eye, just to completely define it like that. Then we'll put a line in the beak. And then we could put some feathers on the tail. You could use white or you could use gold. Just some little white doodles like that. And this is still wet, so I can't really do much about that. I have to wait for that to dry, but I can give him, I said I would and I will, some eyelashes. Make him a girl. He needs a tiny light in his eye. Using a size 3 round, we just make the bee looks more like a hoverfly, this one, but so be it, so to speak. And then I think I might come in and just paint the tulips red. And this flower, I don't know what this is. Looks a bit like a geranium or something. Pick up a bit of green. What can I talk about today? Yeah, today's one of those days when I can't think of anything to say. Perhaps I'm a little bit kind of taken aback. You know, the power of the internet, YouTube especially. Years ago, here's a little story. Years ago, it's quite funny. I mean, this is quite surprising to me anyway, but I suppose you might not find it at all interesting. But years ago, in 1989, I was working in Germany and I was teaching English to businessmen, people who were working in Germany, very high-powered businessmen actually, working for a company in a town called Überlingen. And I used to get these groups of highfalutin businessmen who wanted to learn English in a week. Ha, ha. Very funny. Anyway, I met this guy called Peter Grabhair there, and he was one of my students, and we became friendly, and I saw him a few times. Anyway, so I eventually came back to England and never saw him again. But so that was a long time ago. It's 1989. Yesterday, Tamsin was browsing on YouTube looking for somebody who was going to teach some kind of physical therapy. And she said to me, oh, I didn't mention this guy was Austrian. I found this Austrian guy who teaches Feldenkrais, somatic body movement thingy. What's it? And he seems quite good. And I said, oh, what's his name? And she goes, oh, his name's Alphonse Grabhair. And I'm like, what? It turns out he's the son of the guy that I used to teach. We checked it out, and it's definitely the case. He is the son of Peter Grabhair, who I met and knew quite well in Austria, Germany, in 1989. And there he is. And I thought that was quite funny. I don't know if Peter's still alive. He was older than me. But yeah, the power of the internet. You can find anybody. I wasn't even looking. Yeah, it's amazing. Now, that white hasn't come out terribly well because it was a little bit wet when I put that on. So just as a sort of warning to you that I'm wondering whether to put some gold on. Do you think I should? Perhaps a few just gold dots on the tail. And, I said the other day about preparing your background birds and having a bunch of them, and then just going in while you're watching Better Call Saul to do the illuminations. Like monks. We're like monks trying to find peace through art or painting and so on. So then he can have a few curly bits on his head, because this is a little chick, isn't it? And I'm not happy with this wing, so I'm going to outline it in gold. I don't know why that white didn't want to work, but it didn't. Never mind. So there we are, another baby chick. We've got two of them now. There's the first one I'll try out. Quite often the first one you do turns out better than the subsequent ones, but yep. I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a try. You could do them face on, or you could do them in any kind of posture. The whole point of these little exercises, these little #paintabirdaday exercises, is to get you experimenting with different techniques, not being too precious about what you're doing. In other words, making the whole thing into a trauma, which can sometimes happen. No trauma, just fun. So there we are. Two little dicky birds sitting in a row. There's another line to that rhyme. Does anyone know what it is? Two little dicky birds sitting in a row. One said something. I can't remember it. I'm sure someone will. Thanks ever so much, everybody, for all your messages in the comments, and thank you for becoming patrons. We've got an amazing number of people who've signed up, and that's wonderful. Thank you for joining the YouTube membership, and thank you for visiting our website, and thank you especially for downloading the free sketches that are over there for you to use to help you in your paintings. So, love to you all, and I'll say bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.